Hello guys and gals, welcome to another episode of Squad Morale Restored. My name is Daniel and today we are going to be taking a look at, above my hands, the Macharius tank with the Vulcan Mega Boulders. Now this model I have Kirioth to thank for bringing my attention to. As a subscriber to his channel, I had never actually seen this tank before, and it featured on his one of his lists of his favourite Forge World models, and I was blown away by it and thought I'm going to have to pick this up at the earliest opportunity. So thank you, Kirioth, for that. Let us have a look inside. And of course, this being a Forge World product, I have the usual caveats of how well made is this going to be. So let us carefully take a look inside. Now, not having seen the model before, I'm assuming it's going to be one of the older kits, possibly not done with CAD or the benefits of that kind of technology. So I'm a little suspicious on what I'm going to find in here. So we've got the underside, well, fairly obviously the underside, an out of focus underside. This is not playing ball. Come on, little camera. There we go. Right. So we've got a now in focus underside. Looks good. It actually looks pretty straight as well. Compared to the might be a little bit at this side, a little bit, but that's an out of out. If it is, just a bit of hot water will sort that out a treat. Actually, it does have, we do have some kind of a date on it. Zooming in, actually no we don't, it just says Games Workshop. Okay, fair enough. Put that over there. What else have we got? So we've got a little bag of components there. I've got something fairly weighty there. Something else fairly weighty here. And the, oh dear, we've got the oldie worldy assembly. Wow, that is one lovely piece of kit. Okay, we've got our oldie worldy photocopied instructions. Right, copyright Games Workshop. Hang on, Games Workshop 2007. Okay, so we're 12-year-old. Might be good, might be bad. Right, we've got a components list. So we found the bottom bit. Actually, who are we putting our hands in? That doesn't sound good. Who are we putting our hands? No. Whose hands are we putting ourselves in today? Doesn't sound any better. So 10th of May this year, pretty good. Checked by Kate. All right, so not a couple of letters. So let us see if Kate has done us proud. All right. So what have we got in our first set of bubble wrap? So I believe these are the, I'm not sure what the part numbers are, 4 and 5. These should be the left and right hand side of the tracks, or track units. Oh wow, crikey. Okay, put that one side. Wow. Right, so we've got, hold on, come on focus, come on camera. No, camera is not having a good time of it today. Okay, so let's warily check out all of this intricate detail. I mean, resin is great for capturing little detail, but of course the little detail also means that it's very prone to mistakes. So far so good. That all looks good to me. There's no mold slips. There's nothing. Blimey, there's absolutely nothing. I think nearly every kit I've had from Forge World has had some problem to greater or lesser extent. The one that was the most, I wouldn't say upsetting, but the most awkward or depressing was the Castor-Snide Porphyrion. It had that many glitches on so many of its components. I ended up getting loads replaced, and it just meant that the build took longer and longer and longer. Well, I had to wait for components to be, because I think some are out of stock or something, so it took a little while to get everything. So the only problem we've got, so the detail on here is spifftastic. Only problem we've got is this massive chunky gate, so we need to saw that off. And we're going to have a little bit of trim work along here to deal with. And yes, I've still got Abaddon black under my fingernails. One good thing is, it looks like the last part of the track, sorry, is a separate piece. So saw that off, sand it down, plonk the other bit of track in there. Should be a good looking side. So that is one side. So let us take a quick gander at side number 2, please. And now we appear to have some of the actual mold with us. Oops, there it goes. So this is the right side. Again, looks really sharp. Everything looks present and correct. No obvious issues. Looking down the tracks, everything again. Oh, hang on. Got a little issue there. Is that a problem? I don't think so. I can sort that out with a knife or something. Okay, pretty good. That's now out. So we can go through there. Turn it around to the other side. And along the bottom. Is it just me? Or do you guys always find that the bottom of the track they don't see looks just a little bit nicer than the top part of the tracks? Okay, so I'm really happy with that. We have 2 parts that are the right parts. I'll take those gates off later and see how well it all lines up. Okay, and in here, oh wow. In here we've got a rather substantial chunk of resin. Wow, that is some gate. Okay, off you go, mush. Now this is the bit where it's going to be a make or break. We have got, let's have a look at the top. Okay, so first impressions, good. Second impressions, let's have a closer inspection. Engine, looks really nice. I like the little gauge there. Can we get any closer? Let's see. We can get a bit closer. Okay, that's nice. Just try and make this look as best as possible for you guys. I love how the pipes on the end go deep into the body of this. I'm not sure what you call it. The back of this engine compartment. Looking good. Let's have a look at the back part first. Now, I think I mentioned in another video of how Forge World do 3D CAD renders, and then get they get their molds built using a 3D printer. So sometimes that leaves all these little thin lines. They're not you can't really sort of feel them, but you can sort of see the different colors. This is definitely not a 3D print, he said. Yep, this is definitely not from a 3D mold. Okay, looks good. Yeah, now down the sides, so that looks nice and flat, which is pretty fantastic. Check the other side. Again, looks flat. And check the detail on the top of the hull. There's not playing ball. There we go. Right. I always end up having all these little camera issues. Okay. Looks good. Let's look at the Aquila. The Aquila is a little intricate. And that is absolutely fine. Okay. And let's have a look at the front. I do like how the front part here looks very Imperial Guard-like. It's very much like the Chimera. And I think there's one like this similar on the Lehman Russ as well. So I like that. Okay. Again, oh, we found a flaw. We found a flaw. Hang on. There it is. The air bubble. The air bubble of doom. Well, that's yeah. Okay, so fill that in, no bother. Okay, so really impressed with that. That's really good. Okay, so 4 parts in and 4 parts good. Now we have a little bag of parts that could go wrong. I hope not. I'm so used to seeing videos from other YouTubers that have had all sorts of hassles and problems with Forge World parts and components. It's really annoying. I know it's like a first world problem kind of thing, but it is something that can be remedied and sorted out before parts get sent to you. Just sometimes don't. If anyone wants to watch what I do have recommendations. One of them is Super Saiyan. I think that's how he's pronounced. And the other one, of course, is the incomparable Leaky Cheese. And both of these guys are what sort of compelled me, well, not compelled me, but sort of gave me the inspiration to try and do some videos like this as well, because I found them really sort of interesting to watch and listen to, and learned an awful lot from both of them. And if there's anything that I can do, if there's anything I do on this channel that you enjoy, that makes it all worthwhile, to be honest. Okay, so we've got an exhaust, which is fine. We have some spare fuel. Hang on. And of course, both of those guys are infinitely better at doing videos compared to my humble efforts. Right, so let's see if we can get this a little bit closer view. Now, aha, right, now we've got it running. So we've got the barrels, and again, nothing to cry about. Okay, very limited cleanup required. Marking my finger. That is thanks to assembling a Warrior of Chaos. Good old Corn, as usual, having a pint of blood off you. Well, droplet. Okay, so we've got a little sponson. It's round, which is what it's supposed to be. No sign of any mold slip yet. Nice crisp detail there where it's going to join up. Okay. We've got... Oh, wow, it's a little door. Oh, this is so cool. Ah, this is the engine hatch. Hang on. This will fit... Oh, I've got bits everywhere. This is going to fit on top of here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That's a shame. I quite like to see the engine open. Could glue it open. Optional. Right, so check out on some of this detail, and that is crisp as you might expect. Well, maybe not expect. Crisp as you might hope. Yeah, lovely. Okay. Very nice. I like the detail on both sides as well. I think I'm going to try and model that with it open. Seems a shame when the model is sculpt all this extra detail and then you cover it up. Okay, now we've got some weapon options. Okay, so we've got our now either Inferno gun or heavy flamer. We've got the heavy bolter and heavy stubber. Now, both of these aren't as detailed as newer kits. For example, the wings on the Aquila, you can't quite make them out, but that's not really a fault of this casting. It's more a fault of just the technology at the time. So you could replace, if you wanted to use the heavy bolter option, you could possibly replace it with like a plastic kit part. That's a little bit bent, just a bit warm water. We'll sort that out. Just be careful you don't snap it, because that's a horrible thing to try and fix. Okay, dokes. And we've got a second one. And yeah, nothing to complain about there. We have it. What on earth is this? Right, this must fit across the front. I'm wondering if this is going to fit yes. We've got the two knobbly things, technical. It's going to fit across there. Okay. Yeah, okay. So that looks grand. Again, no problems. This is quite unusual. Not that I'm hoping for problems, but I'm not used to either having to replace half kits or a third of a kit or something. Having nothing so far is really quite surprising. Now, I'm not sure. I think these might be what goes in front of the tracks. Or are they? They look like hinges. I'm wondering if these are like flaps that open up, or they're just like over the top mud shield things. Whatever they are, if anyone knows, please leave a comment. Or a comment could be, why didn't you look in the instructions instead of asking us all the time? We have the instructions have now statically stuck themselves at the inside of the box, so we'll leave that for the time being. We've got a bit of that, got a bit of this, We've got various bits of stuff that's just falling about. Right, okay, right, back to the components. So we have got a blurry sponsony holding thingy bob. Apologies for the total lack of knowledge when it comes to trying to name these components. So we've got, I believe it's a side sponson. Oh, I like that. A little viewing hole for the chapter look through. Not too sure how much you'll see with the turret here, but it is nice and sharply cast. I like the little door. That's quite canny. Little door. And the underside looks good. There's a little bit of like I don't know if it's a mold, or just like a mold line just across between the rivets. Sounds painful. But that's easily cleaned up with a modelling knife or file or something. Champion. How many parts have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got about 10 or 11 parts, and we're 12 for 12. So we have a heavy stubber, which is designed to take out guys that are beneath the tank. Oh, sorry, we'll just warm it up, and it will be nice and straight. Crikey, very fiddly details. Okay. For a model that's been done so many years back, I have to admit I am pleasantly surprised by how sharp the detail is on most of the components. I know we've had that issue with the Aquila, but the majority of the components are really well turned out. And now we've got these sort of circular, these round bits on the base of the barrel. And it was this kind of detail on the Porphyrion that meant I needed to get them replaced, because these were terrible on the Porphyrion. This looks pretty much damn near perfect. Crikey. Okay. Very happy with that. Well done. I've forgotten the name. Sorry about that. Was it Kate? It is indeed Kate. Okay. So put that there. Yes, I am yet again filming in the British summer, and dark clouds keep flying past because I'm expecting a downpour. Hence, the light is pretty terrible, so I'm sorry about that. Not a great deal I can do about it. Okay. I'm just grateful it's not snowing outside. Right. So we have... Okay, so we're going to have weapon coming out of underneath here. This is going to sit on top. This little viewfinder bit of kit there. I'm starting to get lulled into a false sense of security here. All of these parts are coming out absolutely perfectly. We've got a pair of... Come on then, let's have a look. Is my autofocus working? I don't think my normal focus is working. It works from time to time. How about now? Quick sudden change in focus. Camera says no. Camera says I will focus where I want to. And that is not where you want it. Come here. Right. Come here. Right. Try and bend it into submission. Not the resin, just the camera. Okay, so 2 rounded whatnots, twice the risk, and double the fun. I'm getting way too excited for this. Crikey. Spot on. It'll do very nicely indeed. Aha, we have a pair of hatches. And again, nothing wrong there. A little bit of clean up on the edge, which is what you'd expect, where the excess resin comes out the mold. Look good. Not distorted or anything. Crikey. Ah, the second exhaust pipe. There's more of this stuff floating about. We have nothing to write home about. Again, you can sort of see how the Aquila isn't as detailed as on... Oops. Okay. You can see the Aquila's not quite as detailed as on some of the newer kits. Again, you can sort of give it a bit of a pass for that. Perhaps even in the field you wouldn't expect this kind of iconography to be accurately picked out, because that's a war zone, so it's not going to last very long if it's really finely detailed. That's my head canon anyway. Okay, so here we have the other side sponson with the on viewing window there, and his little escape hatch there. I mean, his hatchway goes in to bravely man the gun. That's champion. That's really good. Really nice. Okay, so we are running down to about 5-6 components left. We have a second hatch of hatches. A second whatever you call these things, gate with a couple of hatches attached. Oh, there we go. Fantastic. Not bad at all. Right, now we've got the track covers, a wobbly thing, and a shiny thing. So I believe that is a headlight or searchlight. We've actually got two of these, so I'm assuming it must be like a headlight. Looking good. I'm going to have to watch some tutorials on how to paint effective looking headlights. If any of you guys have a go-to video on how to paint headlights, I'd very much like to see it. Please leave a comment in the comments below. So, replacement track bits. This looks pretty much identical to a Bane blade, which I think the Macharius Vulcan actually is. It's supposed to be like a second generation Bane blade. Slightly smaller and easier to make for the mechanical. And I suspect, I have this feeling that they were built on one of the death worlds like Krieg. But I stand to be corrected. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And its compadre is... Oh, hello. We have a mold slip. Is it bad? It is barely noticeable. And easy. That should be easy enough to clean off. That's awesome. That is really good. Again, I know I'm getting excited and cheered up by the fact that what I've just bought is actually in good condition. But these are the things that you have to kind of put up with Forge World. Right, so we've now got the gunners in his arms. So I love the fact that the gunner is actually a deathcore Krieg kind of person. Actually, I wonder if you can... Yes, you do use both. I'm sure I've seen a picture where they're both showed. Okay, so we've got the old wagging finger of telling you off. This one is patting the other dude on the head, so it's alright, mush. It might not be that, but you know. Look absolutely amazing. I am considering going for like a Death Cove Krieg type army, or at least using their figures, but possibly making them chaos. Because I think that would be a nice, that would give it open for a nice aesthetic. Like probably an unaligned chaos, so just general chaoticness. Or maybe just renegade, to be honest. Especially with the history of the Death Corps. Right. So the final, and arguably the most important piece, is the huge turret. And of course, what appealed to me was the fact that it comes with the Vulcan Mega Bolter from a Warhound Titan. And you can't argue with you can't really argue with that in terms of firepower. It's enormous, especially as a anti-infantry. I do like how the barrels aren't perfectly aligned, so that we've got this one at the top, which is not quite at the top, but this rotary barrel has definitely moved around a bit more, so that's quite realistic. We have the Aquila, which is struggling to be identified by my camera. It's still struggling. There we go. Which is nicely detailed and sharp. Got a little bit of, I don't know, possibly a little bit of work to do around the hinges. Oops, sorry if you're getting seasick watching this. I'm trying to hold it steady as I can. Yep. Okay. Odds and ends to clean up. That's now out. Little equipment storage boxes on the side. Love this. Love the cabling. Okay. Okay. I also like how the back of this is very reminiscent of the Lehman Russ. Little storage lockers or ammo lockers. I was expecting, I'm not sure if I should have done, or I did think the gun barrels would actually be posable, like up or down. I didn't think this would be a full block, as it were. But usually I don't really mind. Like for the Lehman Russ and things, I have them pointing straight forwards anyway, so it's not a big issue. Okay, so final, let's see. So final opinions is that this is going to be, I think it's going to be an awesome tank to put together. It's one of the best, well, to me it's going to be one of the best looking tanks that Forge World currently make. Thanks again, Kirioth, for bringing it to like my attention. Well, not personally my attention, but just like his audience's attention. I'm not expecting a big hassle with any of the components in terms of having to clean anything up or particularly warm them up or anything. So yeah, I'm really impressed actually with that. The kit is a chunky kit. It's about £125-ish. And that means you get the free postage. Well, if you do in the UK, although if you're paying 125 quid, you'd expect the postage to be chucked in as well, to be honest. But anyway, not one to complain. So I'm looking forward to giving this a good old soak in some fairy liquid. Other brands of detergent are available. Giving it a bit of a brush, snipping it out all these gates, and then doing some dry fitting, and see if my initial expectations, based on what I've just seen, are actually valid. So that's it for this video. Thanks very much for joining me on this unboxing of the Macharius Vulcan, and I will hope to see you again next time. Please let us know if you have any comments in the area below, and I will, as I said, I'll hopefully see you next time. Right, thanks very much guys for watching, and you take care of yourselves. Happy hobbying.